once again, where the water tastes like wine. An epic wanderlust story across America in the Depression of 2030-ish? I don't quite remember. Anyways, last time we played, we came from the northeast, we started in Maine, and we came all the way down the east coast, all the way down to Florida. We met a few interesting people on the way. We found some interesting stories too, like a flying Satan goat. Yeah, that's something. Anyways, let's go. Here's the story. Oh, long black car, yep. You recognize the story she's telling. The 8 identical men born to 8 different mothers who mistook each other for his brother. So the 4 identical men born to 2 different mothers turned into 8. Yikes. Okay. So we hitchhiked all the way down here to Miami, Florida. Now let's wander up. Get some of these stories we missed on the way because the car wouldn't let us out. Jerk car. What we got here? New story?
Faded shotgun houses sit in rows under the tall shadows of smokestacks. A worker in full uniform hollers from a porch. "Hey, traveler! Join me inside. Got some literature here."
Literature. I love it. Alright, let's go inside.
As you shut the door, the man glances out the window and draws the shades. "Landlord toss you out? Ha! Don't mind me, it's none of my business." He pries up a floorboard with a crowbar.
Okay.
You glance over the man's shoulder to see inside the compartment. Canned goods, a pile of leaflets, the wood stock of a rifle. He replaces the board and stands. He hands you a can of whole potatoes, then a leaflet which reads, "No evictions, no fascists, no hunger." "Headed back to the shop, but we'll have a Bible meet soon."
Yeah, Bible meat?
Bible meet. If you don't know James 5:1 by heart, learn it. That's our favorite scripture.
It is, huh? James 5:1. Hey, look. James 5:1. What are you? Warning to rich oppressors. Now listen, you rich people, weep and wail because of the misery that is coming on you. Your wealth has rotted, and moths have eaten your clothes. Your gold and silver are corroded. Their corrosion will testify against you and eat your flesh like fire. You have hoarded wealth in the last days. Look, the wages you failed to pay the workers who mowed your fields are crying out against you. The cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord Almighty. You have lived on earth in luxury and in self-indulgence. You have fattened yourselves in the day of slaughter. You have condemned the murdered, the innocent one who was not opposing you. Oh, well. That's some fire and brimstone shit right there. Okay. I think we wanted to go this way. St. Petersburg.
The blistering sun has scared even birds into the shade. But a middle-aged woman and a young couple are still collecting scraps of cotton that the machinery missed. With a ragged voice, the older woman calls to you. "Got any water?"
Sure, lady. I wonder, this is like the devil, so what would happen if we say not enough to share? Sure.
The three of them rush over to you, suddenly reanimated.
Corpse says.
They pass around your canteen. When you get it back, it's empty. The woman squeezes your hand and sighs with relief. Sweetest thing I ever tasted, she tells you.
Thanks. I don't have any water though. So that sucks.
First tree in a mile, and it's a stout myrtle with bald branches. No relief from the sun out here. Leaves would help. Someone hadn't replaced them all with dusty glass bottles.
Weird.
You cool down in the shade. The breeze blows through the bottles, making a series of heavy, hollow sounds. You think about wind chimes and the smell of fresh pies on windowsills. The dense sound of many conversations cuts your nap short. There's no one around. Not until you look up at the bottles. They're filled with bright blue orbs, and words echo from them. None seem to notice your presence.
Oh God.
Can't get enough. Porcelain, chrome, the rusty ones. Gotta turn those sleek faucets. Ever find me in a hardware store, I'm gonna haunt it till the cows come home.
Laughter rumbles inside neighboring bottles.
We're hallucinating. Ah, we're on drugs. This farmer is loitering beside a couple crates of berries, idly watching the clouds go by, waiting for a pickup, he says, trying to make small talk. Hey, you want to hear a story? Absolutely. He starts telling you about the Leatherman, whose ghost haunts Connecticut. It takes a couple minutes, but suddenly you recognize it as a story about the Leatherman's cave. Whoever told it to the farmer changed, well, a lot, but it's still pretty good. Where'd you hear that story? Oh, I can't remember, he says. I think I've known it for years, since I was a boy, or for sure. That can't be right. Story happened to me. Oh, shit. His laughter rings down the dusty road. You're a good joker, I'll give you that. Go to this camp. Dupree, Chapter 2. Ah, boy.
I always knew you'd come loping back my way and catch me checking for marks. How you been, traveler? I'm afraid I got myself in some damn tight spots since we last made bets with each other. It's the way of the world.
Is it?
You give too much, someone gonna take away too much. Just don't mind me if I seem like I'm wincing. It ain't you. It's just love making its way to hell. Come over. Come sit. Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movies?
Damn it, Dupree. Exciting stories. I don't, honestly. Try and find one in a category that we don't have many on. Nope. 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 I mean, I don't think she wants scary. Fighting is not something we have. Seance is kind of exciting, I guess. I don't think that's what she wants. She wants like, ooh, that was exciting. Try the taxi cab. Why not?
Well, well.
All right.
They should let you make the movies, honey. In a country like this, it's like a death sentence someone takes your money like that. Some kid steals from you like that. But you can always dodge death. You can't dodge yourself. The hatred of yourself, the way other people makes you hate yourself. You think, hey, someone took from me like that? Was I not graceful, Lord?
Oh, lordy, lordy.
Got any stories with ghosts or murderers or blood or something like that?
Oh, we got plenty of those. Nope. 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 Maybe. Sure. Do this one. The sugarcane cutters. We took the axes and then later were found dead.
Just what I asked for. That spooky stuff gets my heart going like a good hand sometimes do. I guess when you've been hurt like that, you wonder what the other person were thinking when they doing the damage. This boy, though, he were patient and fine looking. When I saw him with my baseball bag, I knew. As I ran up to snatch it back, I knew. And when he hit me, it hurt two kinds. It hurt two kinds. And the kind without the blood hurts the worst. Because the body heals and the mind don't. Got any stories with ghosts or murderers or blood or something like that?
Sure do. Boy who died in the fields. No, that's more like a sad story. Seance. Try it. Come on, come on, come on. Definitely ghosts here.
God damn, you're giving me the chills, sweetheart. Maybe Lady Fortune has it in for me. I've been losing recently. On a tilt since he left, like a branding iron ain't ever left my skin. When I was younger, I hadn't seen all the ways you can lose. When you're young, you don't even have nothing to lose. You can eat what you like and nothing give you indigestion. Now I don't say hello at gas stations in case someone somewhere trips on me. Hey, got any exciting stories?
Exciting story again? Shoot. It's kind of exciting. The goat one. Otherman was kind of exciting, but last time we tried it, said it was scary. Man. Tell the story of Quinn's adventures. Maybe that'll help us out. Focusing on the thrilling parts.
Honey, thrills is the stuff I live on.
Cool.
That one will keep me going.
Whew.
You walk by one place and suddenly you got a jarring feeling of deja vu. That feeling like you've been in circles but no one remembers you or knows you're there. That's what life feels like. Like walking in circles like roulette. And sometimes it's your number and most of the time it ain't, and you gotta store that energy, I learned. Store it for when you win. Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movies?
Well, considering she fully trusts us already, let's try and figure out if we have another exciting story on our hands. I kind of think that the, where is it? Where is it? Did I already use it? Yeah, I must have. Phew. I don't know. Let's see if this one's exciting.
Quit it, stranger.
No, it's not. Okay.
That sweet nonsense will kill me young, faster than the drinking do. To be self-sufficient. To be indulged that once, you know? I've been thinking about this one pinko that came by the creek recently. He said that an uneven life was manufactured. That it didn't always have to be peaks and troughs. That evening it out was a way it could be. I think about that for a long time.
Yeah, you think about it, eh?
Is it best to be in a slow-moving river all the time? And never have your heart in your mouth at the rapids? All this heavy stuff, it's nice to have someone to pay attention. Soothe my bruises, let the dice be. You want to play a few cards with me before you move on?
Sure.
Of course you do.
Ah,
Let's
you're
play
heading back
slow
down
for a
for it.
while.
Gee.
And you tell me a tale?
Oh, Dupree, you're heading back down south. I'm not going that way, sorry to say. It's break time at this half-finished bridge. The workers are gathering around a young man who sits on a bucket like a king. They listen raptly to a story about the ghost who punished spiritualists for their hubris. You realize it's a story of the seance, but heavily embellished. The young man on the bucket tells it masterfully, doing all the voices as if he'd told it this way 1,000 times before. It's nothing close to what actually happened, but this version is pretty good. You'll have an easy time remembering it. Okay, where are we going? Go back to Georgia. Let's see, which way is north? That way? Okay. I'm not sure what's going on with this game. Like, it's weird FPS fluctuations. Let's see if we can, I don't know, turn it down? No, that doesn't seem to do anything. Turn it down a lot. Nope, didn't do nothing. Something with the game, I guess. Yep. Fantastic. Anti-aliasing, can we turn that off? Maybe? Nope. Not it either. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And if I turn VSync on, what does that do? You think? Nope. I don't know. Maybe if we turn full screen off? Nope. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. We're gonna have to live with it, I guess. Ooh, here's a story. I think the game just isn't well optimized or something. I'm honestly not sure.
You emerge from the underbrush and find yourself at the edge of a field. A farmhouse sits at the other end. Close by, large family is tending to the plants together. They pause and regard you, almost nervously.
Hello there?
The grandmother asks.
Oh.
The family is almost too nice to you. When you ask for water, they don't even let you walk to the pump by the house. A child runs back to the shed for a folding chair, and they serve you lemonade in a glass among the lettuce heads.
Oh, well, that's very kind of y'all. Thank you.
Halfway through your glass, you notice someone moving furtively down by the house. The cuffs of his white shirt are stained red. The father sees your look and shifts to block your view. His eyes are bright, and his teeth are bared in something like worry.
How do you like your lemonade?
Well, it's great, thanks.
His wife arrives with a bag full of sandwiches for you, and the whole family ushers you back into the woods, waving, wishing you well. You take one look back over your shoulder. The man by the wall is gone.
That's weird. You declare. Alright, we're gonna finish up Florida here and then head back. Yeah, we got a bunch more to do in Florida. Over here on the western side of Florida. See? Ah, there we go. So if I just hold the right mouse button, that's much better. Oh. Oh. It has something to do with the camera angle.
He sings as he works, his voice warm and soft as the late afternoon sun. The air's sweet with the tang of recently cut sugar cane. There's a practiced, almost soothing precision to the way he works. He looks up and nods hello. "Making molasses," he says to your unasked question. "I sell the blackstripe in town. Farmers use it for feed. Bitter as hell." He grins.
Like, well, hey, even if it's bitter, mind if I try some?
"Got some set aside." Comes back with a murky flask, waving off any offer of payment. "I ain't charging. Folks around here need what they can get. Makes a mean loaf of bread." He nods at the barrels. "I'm about done filtering. Got to boil it next. Lend a hand?"
Sure, pal. Happy to help.
You help him haul the barrels over to the metal boiler. You pour in the juice and set the fire. It's hot work. He fetches water and dark bread, and you share the small meal and a smile. It's good to find another who takes joy in honest labor.
Oh yeah, brother. What's this? Huge storm, this farmer gasps, pointing to the clouded horizon. "We gotta get the produce indoors before the fields wash out. Can you help?" You and his family strip the fields of vegetables. When the rain hits, you're all safe inside, and you've got some coins in your pocket. Hey. Alright, we're heading to Tallahassee.
No fence, gate, or sign marks the entrance to the cemetery. Just a moment ago, you weren't surrounded by graves, and now you are. How long have you been stepping on dead folks, fully unaware? A wood board, bleached white. Unknown. The word was painted on black by a steady hand, each letter signed with a flourish. Whoever made this memorial had more compassion than money.
Let's hold a moment of silence.
You're already quiet, so maybe it's silly. But you instill that silence with intent. What else could someone do? A sparrow calls. Seems birds don't have much respect for the dead. You notice the grave marker isn't dug into the ground, just propped up on a tree.
Breaking it.
Looks nicer now, but unmoored as these markers are, this grave in front of this tree, does this memorial even belong to it?
Nobody knows. Long black car, telling the story about cotton field at night. Story doing the telling. Workers who sing and pick cotton without pausing day and night.
The cave is really a man-made hole breaching into an earthen mound. The man, khakis dirtied by kneeling on the rough earth, has assembled a macabre little pile of skulls to the side.
What you doing there, pal?
Readying these for sale, friend.
He wipes his hands on his pants.
This pile of skulls, clearly claimed from his enemies by an Indian chieftain, would be perfect for any cabinet of curiosities or sideshow attraction.
Why dig up a grave?
Why, these skulls belong to no one. They're just here, lying under this mound, waiting for an enterprising soul to make something of them. Isn't this what America's all about?
Little sunlight reaches that deep in, but you can still see the skeletal remains, their heads carelessly removed, laying neatly in their excavated resting places, each one lovingly surrounded by stone effigies, earthenware, and copper plates in the shape of winged warriors.
Hey, let's threaten the man.
You pause and consider this small man, greedily arranging someone's remains as though they were a trinket for a mantelpiece.
Let's make up a ghost story.
It's crude and ridiculous, but he's a crude and ridiculous man. You have him run off the mound, sworn never to tell of what he's seen, for fear of monsters and ghosts. It's a small thing, but a kindness you hope.
Alright, back over here to the east side of Florida. Hate it.
You rest in a field where a well-dressed stranger talks your ear off on all manner of subjects. The weather, fireflies in summer, how combine harvesters work. After a while, the mood shifts.
Heard my death bones this morning.
Death bones? Sorry.
Death bones. Heard 'em rattle like clank, clink, clank. More startling than wind chimes in a tornado.
He plucks dry grass and chews on a piece.
Ain't much time left now.
Any family?
Not much. Sent him a letter. Mostly apologies. Bothered the postwoman a lot about how to spell this and that. Ain't that bad.
He seems to perk up some.
I did right by most folks. Sure was good to meet you.
The man pauses, rubs his chin in contemplation.
Don't let the bedbugs bite.
He walks off slow. After his silhouette becomes small in the horizon, but before he vanishes, you see him collapse to the ground.
Well then, that's unexpected.
His smile lights up the room, or rather the cab of the locomotive. Folks gather round as he holds the pull cord. He's a showman through and through.
You'll want to cover your ears now for this next part.
Sure doesn't help much. Engineer pulls that chain and the whistle blasts inside your skull. He just smiles through it all. Man must be half deaf.
What in tarnation?
A round of applause erupts from the small crowd. He passes out bubble gum to the shell-shocked kids, half of them in awe, half in tears.
Remember now who gets you there on the advertised. Casey Jones.
Everyone's all talk as they head back to their seats. That engineer sure is handsome. Gosh, and that whistle sounded just like a whippoorwill, didn't it? Ain't this the way to travel?
I'm seeing some patterns here in this game. Whippoorwills is one. Parabolas is another. This bar is crowded with people from every walk of life. Businessmen, young men in muddy overalls, and a crowd of girls in slinky dresses preparing their blood alcohol content for a night on the town. But it's the squat, sharp-eyed man in the fedora who catches your attention. He launches into a wild story about the hotel haunted by the ghosts of twin toddlers. Halfway through, he stops, recognizing the look on your face. You know this one? You tell him the story about the silent twins. That's it? I think I like mine more. So that's why I'll keep telling it my way, he says. Let's get another round and do a competitive test on the other folks here, shall we? At the end of the night, the whole bar agrees the new version is better. Might be because your new friend bought them all drinks, though. Hotel haunted by the ghost of twin toddlers instead of twins. What's this? Man can barely wait to get through the pleasantries before asking if you've heard the story. 110% true, he says. I heard it from my nephew, and it happened to someone he knows well. The man launches into his telling. It's polished. He's obviously done this many times before. He tells you the story of the fisherman's fish calling seagulls. You recognize the bones of it from your experience of the seagulls and the fishermen. It's been embellished in the interim, though. Afterwards, you think the man and turn on. You'll have to remember that version. It's not quite what happened, but it's a good story. What? Another upgrade to our stories? They just keep doing it over here. From one side of the town to the other. These fellows are lounging in the front of a half-finished office building, taking their lunch break. Hey, one of them calls, waving you down. Rick was telling us the story. Listen, okay? And you tell us if it's bullshit or not. Rick, a credulous-seeming fellow, starts telling you a story about the sugarcane farmers who took criminals from the jails and worked them in his fields until they died. You realize it's the story of the sugarcane cutters blinded to the threat of death, but changed in a few major ways. So it's definitely part bullshit, right? But also a little bit real? It's not bullshit. Half the group groans. How the hell is that supposed to be a real story? Exclaims the man who waved you down. You're all the most gullible pieces of shit I ever met. The other half of the group, vindicated, shares a bottle of pop with you. What? We're just gonna keep upgrading our stuff around here, apparently. Let's get this first. Wanna make some cash? This woman asks. She's balancing a box of bread and lettuce on her head. You help her grill hot sandwiches in a tent at the edge of the county fair. The work is easy as hell. She pays you decent money, too. What do we got over here? Policeman in the truck on this corner is having a pretty wild argument with someone on the other end of the radio. No, he kept saying, no way. You listen in as the man on the radio finishes a wild story about the whole group of boys who worked themselves to death in a cornfield. Wait a second. I swear this is what happened, the cop over the radio insists. That's when it clicks. You know the story. It's a stranger version of the story of the boy who died in the fields. Well, no one could be called to collect his body, but with some bits left out or replaced. Ain't true, the cop in the truck sighs. If only he knew. Okay. We're gonna move on to Savannah. Savannah, Georgia. I don't want to keep going back and forth between those two places. Seems like cheating to me.
The lightning starts in the next valley over. Then the wind picks up. The long grass hisses, and suddenly, it's raining so hard you can barely breathe without a hand over your mouth.
Search for shelter.
The lightning momentarily illuminates a farmhouse on the opposite hilltop, the only one for miles. Much closer, though, is a silhouette of a dilapidated barn.
Go for the house.
You pound and pound on the door of the house, but you only get confused shouts from inside. Soon, you give up and head to the unlocked shed, where the empty wood bin makes a good enough bed.
At least it's dry.
In the morning, you're woken suddenly by the sound of clattering china. A tiny old woman bends over you, silently offering you coffee. She serves you half the pot before she lets you get up and leave for the morning.
That's nice.
The woman finds you as you wander the streets. "Come with me, child," she says, looking you up and down. "We're going to church."
Okay, lady.
You follow her to a simple clapboard building. There's no steeple, but a cross is painted on one side. Inside, you sit for what seems like years as the preacher drones on about the various virtues expected of his faith. Brevity is not among them, apparently.
Seldom is. Headless Hessian of Sleepy Hollow. It takes a couple minutes, but suddenly you recognize the story. You're thinking for a story and start to mosey off down the road. Alright, let's take a look at this campfire, eh? Jimmy, Chapter 1, Paradise Waits.
Evening there. You looking for a sermon or just a chat?
Hey there, pal.
Don't really matter, frankly. First thing I ever learned behind the pulpit is that every homily is just a conversation. Ain't as one-sided as you might think, either. Preachers ain't shepherds. They're cowboys. They gotta run with the flock, keep them directed without fencing them in. So how about you take a seat and guide us? Anyway, why don't you tell me a scary story? You must have heard some good ones.
Yeah, scary stories, I can do that. The Winged Goat by Pristine. No, see, that's sadness. Yeah, these are tricky. Scary story, huh? We need more of these. Authority. We need more love. Curse for the fortune teller.
Oh, you could rattle a congregation's bones, I bet. Luck? Forget about luck. Think about necessity. See, you focus on luck, you end up dreaming about what-if scenarios. But ain't nothing promised. You hear me?
Hear you, brother. I hear you.
Instead, think on what you know you can do, what you have to do, and learn to do it right. Hey, do you have any spooky campfire tales? Feels appropriate out here, right?
Yeah, yeah. Last spot. Man, that's not really scary. I don't know. Let's try it. Nope.
Different folks have different senses of humor, I suppose. Bondage? Yeah. Met my daddy's daddy once. One time is all I needed to know that some chains ain't ever coming off you. Don't matter what sort of proclamation a white man in a suit makes. Lately, my journey's been pretty ordinary. Just walking church to church. What about you? Been on any adventures?
Benches, huh? Maybe he wants an exciting story? Not very clear, is it? He wants a thrilling story. Okay. Then... Thunderstorm. I mean, I don't think it matters which one. Try this one.
I swear I ain't heard a story good as that in a long minute. Home? Never had a home. Not the way y'all talk about it anyway. Pops and I had a little trailer for the summer he was wrestling in Atlanta, but otherwise, it was a new floor every week. You must have seen some pretty wild stuff on the road. What's the most exciting thing you've seen?
He wants to know the thrilling story, huh? Oi. Casey Jones, a theatrical railroader. Try that.
You've got a pretty wild life, you know that?
Yeah.
Travel? Oh, I travel. Moving's in my blood. Pops traveled all over to wrestle. And even after I stepped out on my own, I kept moving. Travel? Oh, I travel.
Oop.
Moving's in my blood. Pops traveled all over to wrestle. And even after I stepped out on my own, I kept moving.
Repeating apparently. I've been everywhere.
everywhere.
Chicago. Oh.
Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Houston, Los Angeles. I even... Paris. I even been to Paris.
Ask me about that another time.
Lately, my journey's been pretty ordinary, just walking church to church. What about you? Been on any adventures?
You want a thrilling story, huh? Let's see what kind of story this one is. Probably sad, right? Maybe this one? Probably not thrilling, but we'll see what type of story it is based on his reaction.
Tearjerkers need a
Sad.
little more truth in them, I think.
Okay.
Death? Well, Ma died a few years after I was born. Pops used to tell me she was beautiful and that I had her eyes and her sense of conscience, but he always said it like it was an insult. Well, I gotta get moving on. I have a sermon to give in the morning, and the church is a long night of walking that way. Walk
Right,
like
pal.
you're blessed, child, because even if you ain't, that's the only way you'll find your holy self.
Got you another time, man. Jimmy's Parable. It's not bullshit. Yep. Shoot up between the female bootleggers and the cops turned into legendary Gwen Mitchett, the richest, and something I couldn't read the rest of that. What? Get all these items. Progress? Oh man, there's a lot. Everybody's on chapter 2 except for Dupree, who's on chapter 3. Interesting. So that was... what was it? Oh. Legendary Gwen Mitchett, the richest and most ruthless bootlegger ever. Damn! 49 out of 219 stories gathered. 219 stories! You kidding me? That's insane. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna go to Atlanta. Walking through the bayous of Georgia.
You pass a meadow where migrants have made a campsite. It's been trampled to pieces. A few families are fleeing, running as fast as they can back up to the roadside. An enormous bull stretches himself beside some of their squashed supplies.
I think we should probably leave it be.
The bull locks an eye with you and blinks long and slow. The closest thing to a cow threat you've seen in your life. You leave him as spoils.
You know what, we're gonna go to Atlanta. We're gonna get these stories around here, then we're gonna take the train. Atlanta's suffering, you can tell. Even before the depression got started, crops were failing and farms were closing. Now everyone's looking desperate. Let's explore.
You find yourself in a poker game on the third floor of the Winecoff Hotel. Sometimes these things just happen.
What? They just happened. Okay.
The man with the burned face to your left, he never gave his name, growls at the smiling man seated on your right.
You ain't got the stomach.
I killed men for lessons in that pot. Smiler plays on and takes the hand. The burned man bares his teeth.
Deal.
This hand comes down to the burned man and Smiler. Walk away, boy, says the burned man. Smiler drops his grin. I ain't your boy, Roy. Roy's eye twitches. Smiler outplays Roy again, and a new hand comes around.
Let's look at our cards.
You've got an okay hand. Not a world beater, but not nothing.
Play cautiously.
For a moment,
Ow.
you think you have it. But Smiler calls and you're outclassed. Roy's preoccupied and has to be nudged into dealing.
You lost money. Play
You
on.
finally hit a decent hand.
Make it count.
Roy is still staring at Smiler. What'd you say your name was?
I didn't, but it's Jackson.
Jackson, repeats Roy. I knew a Jackson once. There's a fierce look in Roy's eye.
Let's see him, Pallies.
You played it just right. You take the hand and the lion's share of the chips on the table.
Hey.
Smiler cusses. Roy cashes out and slips away. You play a few more rounds, but that hand practically sewed up the game.
Take it easy, fellas. Catch you next
As you
time.
leave the hotel, you smell smoke. You cross the street and look up. Flames have engulfed the third floor, where you played the game. The fire spreads hungrily. People are leaning out of windows on the floors above, but you can't see any way to help.
Move on, I suppose. Alright. Earn some money. Some work. Digging holes. That's not what you had in mind, but damn, they're digging a lot of holes in this park. A foreman assigns you to a work group with a mix of other disheveled men and women and sends you off to dig a pit by the water fountain. What's this about? Nobody wants to say. The young woman keeps mouthing something to you across the hole, but you can't make it out. What's she saying? Dear Lobby? Dave Hobby? Dean Bobber? You never get anyone to admit what this is all about, but you do get paid pretty okay. Great. Okay, let's get these stories. We're gonna head on the old Orient Express. A lot of stories over here. Chattanooga.
A bus roars up on the road behind you and slows to a crawl at your side. Inside, you can barely see people moving, dancing, swaying. Strings of lights. Strange smoke.
Weird. I also don't think these Volkswagen buses existed at the in Depression era America. Futuristic hippie van Satan. Huh?
Want a ride?
The driver calls. Before you can open your mouth, a huge hairy hand like an animal's paw lands heavy on her shoulder.
Whoa.
Not this one, a voice growls, so deep it vibrates your rib cage. The driver shrugs and leaves you in a cloud of perfumed exhaust.
Dude. Gotta be on LSD. In Alabama. Ah, don't hit me with the car. Ah! Never mind that I'm a skeleton.
Here's a derelict school building. Shutters nailed shut. Wind-drifted dunes piled against the walls. Broken desks lined up in the basketball court. While you rest on the front porch, the doors open, and someone gives a startled yelp.
Peer inside.
He's an older man, tidy and unshaven, carrying a toolbox in one hand and brandishing a broom in the other. "Don't squat here," he growls. "We're not abandoned."
Sally. Stand our ground.
He gives you a hard look, but relents and joins you in the shade. I used to teach here, he says, staring off across the baseball diamond. Now they just pay me to keep the roof up.
Ma. Birmingham, Alabama. Ooh, what's this? I haven't seen this one before. The symbol. Want to make some cash? Oh. Chattanooga, Tallahassee.
Two brothers stroll up to you in the street, wearing identical scowls and identical steel-toed boots. One spits in front of you. Don't stay in town overnight, the other says. No vagrants after dark.
Okay. Sleep rough on the road then.
There's no shelter to find on the road, and the night is cold and windy. You doze fitfully under a bush, but at least you're in one piece come morning.
Ooh, that took away health. Oh boy. Hello.
You weren't supposed to see this. Outside town, two men, identical, stand sentry over a third body half covered with a canvas sheet. Might as well grab a shovel being that you're here, the man in front says. When you hesitate, he makes an appeal to your Christian charity.
Oh boy. Agree to lend a hand, I guess.
You and John dig a hasty grave while his brother stands back, keeping a lookout. Closer now, you see the corpse shares their face. Tom was the oldest by an hour, John says. Oh, I guess George and me, we got a few hours on him now.
We'll play along and chuckle nervously.
Mean son of a bitch. Beat the life out of us. Did it our folks that way. Got to be too much, so last night we said we'd do him in. George dragged him out here to do it. I would have helped, you know, but George is a strong one out of me and him. Thank Jesus Tom's gone. I thought I'd have trouble saying that, but I don't.
Nod respectfully.
John squints at the body, then freezes. Wait, Tom's nose wasn't bent like that. Despair floods his face. He looks ready to throw up. You leave him to it.
Oh my god, they killed the wrong guy. What? Wow. I was not expecting that. Alright, Atlanta. Gonna get us some food, heal up. Oh, get some blue plate special. Hell yeah. Delicious. Oh, that, oh damn. That took a full coin as opposed to half a coin. Ah, whatever. Okay, hold up 1 second. Try something here. See if I can't get this game run a little bit smoother. Bugging me. Okay, that might help. It also might ruin the stream, but who knows. Okay. Alright, let's train. This is New Orleans short line. Do you want to go to New Orleans? Yeah, I think we do. Hop a train. New Orleans. Go. As you hop off the boxcar, you suddenly feel a heavy hand of a railroad bull on your shoulder. Now, where did you come from? He asks, in a way that indicates he doesn't care. You don't mess with the B&O's cars. The beating that ensues is efficient and brutal. Ah, we died! No! Damn. He killed us! We had health, though. Damn. Direwolf, Chapter 2.
Bad luck again, but there's no shame in dying. Everyone does it. You still have a job to do. But if you want to learn anything more from me, now's the time. And I'm sure we'll end up seeing more of each other before you're through.
Okay. I don't know. Tell the story of Quinn's adventures.
It's a big country, and if you're having trouble making headway, hop a train, hitch a ride.
Is this what I should be doing? I feel like it is.
Maybe everyone feels that their choices don't matter in the larger scheme of things. But somehow things manage to change for better or for worse.
Does he care about these at all? Let's try.
You haven't earned your... Don't be so impatient, though. Haven't you ever heard that it's about the journey, not the destination?
Okay. You seem to be the ones that
It's
are
hard to
interested.
tell when it happens, but I know that luck is affecting what you see and do. Think how different it could be if you were more or less lucky.
Focusing on the
Death
funny
isn't as
parts.
bad as you thought. It's not like this for everyone, you know. Go on your way, Seeker. I'm sure we'll meet at least once more. Think about what we've discussed, and good luck on the rest of your task.
Oh, that's it? Okay. We have no health. We have no money. Gas station? Can't buy any of those. If I hop on the train again. Not sure what else to do. Oh. He killed us again.
Bad luck again, but there's no shame in dying. Everyone does it.
Okay.
You still have a job, and I'm sure we'll...
Yeah, I get it. Leave.
Go on your way, Seeker. Think about what... and good luck.
Okay. Apparently you can't hop trains. They will mess you up. Hold up. Seemed whatever I did mess it up more, so yeah. Go ahead and fix that. Yep, that's weird. All I did was give it high CPU priority. Okay, well, let's go to Birmingham and hope we can find some money or food before we die.
The bull lounges by this construction site, basking in the bitter sun. Upon his head is a silver crown shrouded in tongues of pale fire. Laborers periodically wander past, seemingly unconcerned. The bull catches your eye. You realize you've been staring.
Yeah, take the crown. It's definitely a good idea, right? No.
The bull arches his head languidly away from you. I'm waiting for my friend, he informs you airily. Now all the laborers are stopping and staring. Feeling reproved, you mosey along.
Sure. Why not?
C.P. Pennebaker.
The dandy approaches seconds after you enter the saloon and extends his hand.
Syndicated in 16 papers. Trying to find out what life is honestly like for folks like you out here. Trade you a drink for your story?
Sure.
C.P. Pennebaker takes down your tail in a frenzy.
This is precisely what folks want to hear.
He cries. He pumps your hand vigorously on his way out the door, leaving you with the bill.
But I don't have any money. I guess I just dine and dash. Not sure what else I could do. After gossiping for a while about the weather and the crops and the state of the world, all bad and getting worse, he takes a different tack. You look like someone who likes a good story, he wheezes. Try this one on for some. After loudly and repeatedly clearing his throat, he tells you the story of the storm generated by a gigantic bird. It sounds a lot like the story of the massive thunderstorm, but with some parts changed and other parts added. When he grins up at you at the conclusion of the tale, you give him the effusive praise he's apparently been expecting. You'll have to remember that version, even if it's not quite what happened. It's a good story. What do we got here? Shaw, Chapter 1, Down in the Valley of the Shadow.
I take a look at you. Figure we're heading to the same place. You've been walking a long time, same as me, trying to find where you fit.
No, you know what? This voice actor sounds exactly like the dude from The Walking Dead Telltale game. From like season 1 or whatever?
You ever wonder if that place don't exist? No shame in it, I do. Plenty of time I wonder if I'll just walk forever. You start to wonder, how did I get here? When you're alone, all you have is all this time. Time to trace the lines back to where things started. So how about a scary tale? We're here at a campfire in the dead of night after all.
Well, I have plenty of those. Fairy tale. Try this. Let's see if this one is considered scary. Probably.
Damn, that's a good one.
I mean, he tried to kill us and then disappeared.
I think about the past sometimes. I never wanted nothing but to be a farmer. To do honest work, get an honest wage. I ain't never gonna be a farmer now. Not much used to think about it. You got any exciting stories? Anything that'll get my heart going?
Ooh, yeah, I got several. The Bull Who Terrorized Travelers. Let's see if this is considered an exciting story.
Now that's a
Yes,
story
it
to
is.
keep a man on the edge of his seat.
Cool.
I guess you can tell I've had my share of run-ins with authority. It ain't a secret that the white man hates Negroes, but it's always new to feel that hate. The newness of how much they hated a Negro in a union was something different altogether. The look in a man's eye when they're aiming to kill you, it's as sharp as a gunshot. But tell me, what's the wildest thing you've seen out there so far?
He wants a thrilling story. I don't see, I don't know where the streets of Washington come. That's scary. I have no idea. Thrilling story. A bunch of these are thrilling. Kinda, sorta. Let's go with the railroad guy, Case Jones.
Damn, that's one surprising tale. Stories about traveler, well and good, I suppose. When I first picked up and moved, it weren't by choice. It had me in shackles. But tell me, what's the wildest thing you've seen out there so far?
Okay, now we've got his trust. We get to experiment a little bit. What could we? I mean, I kind of think this is thrilling. What about this one? This one considered thrilling? Maybe. This one might be considered thrilling. We know the thunderstorms ones probably would be. Let's try the headless Hessian of Sleepy Hollow. It's kind of thrilling, right? Nope.
Trying to
Scary.
No one would say my father was free. Sometimes I think about whether my father would find my life all that different from his. Got anything that'll make me laugh?
All right. A happy story, huh? Bloody delivery. Let's try that. We you're in proper direction. Oh, that is funny. Okay.
Look at me. You got me laughing. Some folks have choice.
Mean guy. Laughing at a woman's misfortune.
Sometimes you have options, but no choice. You understand? Sometimes you're told you could do anything, but there's only one thing to do. Here's the sun. I got to get going. My route goes up this way, but I sure did enjoy talking to you. It's probably the kind of story you've heard a million times. Down on your luck, need work, take whatever you can get. How about you? Does my life sound familiar?
Yeah. Oh, that didn't heal us at all. Crap. It says we have full health here and no money. Oh, because we camped, our health came back. Okay. Alright, where the hell are we going now? We can go talk to that guy again. Ooh, we can go up to Tennessee. I think we should do that. It would be this way. Camera's kind of funky. Right way. We're following a road that's not on the map. Oh, we're going east, that's why. Yeah, so we talked about the socialists, and it changed to rising workers movement. Heading to Nashville. Hit up Nashville first, and then we'll head to the camp. This is a tired city, but things are changing, locals say. For instance, the local, full-size replica of the Parthenon was recently rebuilt. Huh, you mosey down that way for a look.
From the windows of the store, you can hear a radio. turned all the way up, tuned to the Grand Ole Opry show being played across town. Two young girls sit outside listening to the music. Suddenly, it cuts off, and they howl in protest. Despite their obvious vexation, neither of the girls seems inclined to enter the store to see why the broadcast ceased. They seem to be preparing to leave on their bikes. When you approach, one says,
Don't bother. Always stops exactly this time, every week.
Always?
The other one matter-of-factly says,
That's when he died.
and before you can ask anything else, they've ridden away. The window is so grimy you can barely see through the glass, but it's obvious there's nothing to see anyway. It's dark and empty. There's certainly no radio, nor any people. Just a lot of sad dust, marked where the furniture used to stand. Old memories, carted away.
That's weird. Music haunted store. Alright, let's earn some money. You wandered the streets of the city looking for a way to make some cash. Let's look for work. You're standing outside a department store that emphatically had no day work available when an exasperated woman... Oh, cool. We'll watch the dog. Yeah. Give me money. Cool. Alright, Nashville. Nashville treated us right. Got a new story. Got some money. Alright, what do we have here? Althea. Chapter 1. Full of the blues.
I wanted to be the best blues singer in the world. By God, I was. I was born a poor girl in Memphis, Tennessee. No father. He run out. No mama either. She was there, but she weren't there really. All alone but for my Uncle Richard, my baby brother Marcus. All alone but for the guitar. I'm in the mood for a good, hopeful story. You got any?
A hopeful story, huh? Seagulls, maybe? I'm not sure what kind of story this is, honestly. Let's try it. Seagulls that can call the fish.
Oh,
That
that
is
one
hopeful,
made
okay.
me smile. Don't believe what anyone promises you about the future. I signed a contract. I thought it was to lead to fame and glory. But it was a lie. Ooh, how about a story about the dark and scary things in the world?
Dark and scary things. Okay. Okay. Story of a man who seemed alright with death. He just keeled over and died. I have no idea if it's scary or not.
That's a bit. You want to hear about
Fearful.
my family?
Okay.
Uncle would save me bread and milk. Uncle would play his songs for me and I would clap and laugh. Uncle would press my fingers to the string, tell me, go on ahead, girl. Then Uncle died. Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
Tragic story. Here we go. Johnny Appleseed. His dog.
I'd drink to that. Heaven. The white man showed up in Memphis. Heard me singing for dimes outside the barber shop. I thought he was an angel when I met him. I'm in the mood for a good, hopeful story. You got any?
Another hopeful story, huh? I don't know. Is this a hopeful story? These get the woman communing with wood spirits? That doesn't sound hopeful to me. Rising workers movement. Let's try that.
It's good to light the darkness every once in a while. Oh yeah, I felt freedom. There's nothing like the feeling when you sang and your soul leaves your body. Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
Tragic, huh? Is this? It says ghost, so maybe not tragic. No idea. Pigeon keeper?
No, that's just too frightening for me.
Scary. Okay.
Love. Well, I would have done anything for my brother. Anything, yeah. Ah, sun is up. One more night gone. I need to be going. If you want to hear more about the deal I made, you can look for me up the road this way. I was about 25 when I left my first record contract. No more richer than I was before.
Oh, is gonna catch on fire there, lady.
Those men took me around like a freak show. Me and my guitar, my sad songs. I didn't know what to do once I was free again. Alone, drinking my sorrows. And that's where the devil found me.
Cool. Okay, where the heck are we going now? Up to Kentucky? All the way up there? Yeah, let's give that a try. We'll try hitchhiking. We'll go to the Midwest. I don't think you're gonna take me where I want to go, but no, right? Cars aren't coming the other way down the road, huh? Whoa! Oh! I don't want to go that way. Come on. Alright, I guess we're just walking. Weird that the traffic doesn't go two ways on these streets.
The Twisters touch down in a cornfield, fence posts flying in its wake. A huge black stallion charges toward the tornado. On its back, a cowboy whips his lasso through the churning air, nearly matching the Twister's speed. His wild laughter carries on the wind.
Nice.
God damn it, Bill!
Buffalo Bill.
Another man hollers, clapping his hands to his hat to keep it from flying off.
Quit being a damn fool!
The man on the horse turns toward him and flashes a beatific grin before digging his heels harder into the horse's flanks.
He roped a tornado. Alright, watch the cowboy.
His Stetson goes flying, caught by a gust. He doesn't seem to notice. He barks a single yee-haw as he stands in the stirrups, leaning into the whirlwind. In a moment, man and beast are enveloped in the storm. All you can hear is Bill's wild laughter.
She's getting married.
The soldier tells you. The two of you observe the church from the dusty road, straining to hear the faint joy of the ceremony transpiring within.
I fought for 10 years to come home because she said she'd be here, waiting for me. And look, can you believe it?
Yeah? No?
So what am I supposed to do? What does she expect? That I should throw myself from the nearest cliff? Walk into the ocean?
He snorts, sets off down the road.
We need more in the love category, so we're gonna wait behind.
You wait a while. Eventually, the bride emerges from the church, alone, and looks out over the cornfield. When she sees you, and only you, her posture falls in a full-body sigh. She picks up the hem of her dress and goes back inside.
Aw, that's sad. Damn. Right in the feels. Go get that soldier guy and bring him back. You wait in the soup line for over an hour. It's barely crawling along. You round the corner of the building and see far away a lone pair of nurses struggling to ladle out soup to hundreds. It'll be waiting here a while longer, sighs the mother in line beside you. Like, you can hear her get talking. After a while, the topic drifts into a strange place, and she starts telling you about the ghost of the well-heeled hobo. You recognize it as the story about the last bottle of Armagnac, but way more outrageous than your version. Know that story? You'll hear your version. That's not as exciting, she says diplomatically. I mean, it sure sounds realer than what I heard, but I think Toby likes mine best. She bounces her child encouragingly on her hip, but Toby's too hungry to smile. Yeah, he looks a little grumpy. Go get these stories, and then we'll head to Cincinnati. Can we go over a mountain? Oh, we can.
The car is a lifeline, your one hope to escape the encroaching storm. It rattles along a few yards ahead of the storm front, jouncing and juddering, one pothole away from being swallowed by the choking dust. A figure clings to support straps mounted on the back.
Catch that ride, literally.
You grab the straps and haul yourself up.
Oh,
Shouts the woman on the back.
a fellow observer.
She's wrapped in a scarf and aviation goggles, juggling a pen and a notebook while hanging onto the unsteady car. The dust scours your face and rips at your clothes.
Can't we go any faster?
We're not done with our observations.
She threads one arm through the straps and makes another attempt to write, but it comes out illegible.
Blast it. Get inside and take dictation, will you?
Okay.
You clamber through the open back window, and she hands you pen and notebook. You scribble furiously while she dictates the finer qualities of the dust and wind assaulting the car until her voice is hoarse.
That'll do.
She bangs on the roof.
Judith, let's go.
Storm Hunters. I feel like I need to restart the game. I wonder if they have like memory leak issues in this game or something they need to patch out.
She waits by the ruined mill, in an overcoat 2 sizes too big.
Look, look, over here. Look at this.
She yells.
This only happens once every 10 years, for Christ's sake.
She grabs your hand, and you both look at the black gear rolling west to cover the sun.
What? Look at it.
Steadily, the darkness draws across the sun until it is almost total. She clutches your hand tightly.
I've never seen this before. I've never seen this.
The sun, obscured, throbs and expands, raging against the night.
So a solar eclipse. Look away.
You know it's dangerous to do that. You avert your eyes and make her do the same. She looks at you, out from under the brim of her hat, with wide eyes deep and dark like black buttons in her brown, weathered face.
Look at her.
The cast of shadows rises up her body. She closes her eyes and nervously kisses you. Just lightly, her lips slightly wet and barely parted. Her hand touches your cheek. She softens, widens. The darkness blacks out you both.
Move on? I don't want to move on. That sounds like fun. Alright. Killer pigeons. What? So the pigeon keeper is now keeping killer pigeons. I mean, we kind of
Plants
suspect that.
grow and blossom as you watch. The man goes down the line, applying a few drops from a vial as he goes. As a liquid soaks in, each plant pushes up from the soil, unfolding and stretching for the sky.
That's miraculous.
Turns to you.
It's quite something, isn't it? Soy here strangles the crops. People are starving. But even when the plants survive, they don't grow fast enough to fill people's bellies.
He smiles.
My miracle formula will change that.
How does it work?
He shakes his head.
I'm not giving up my secrets that easily. The state will pay a lot of money for this.
He shakes the vial. He tears off a leaf.
Here, try some.
Alright, we'll taste it.
It's just bitter at first. But as you swallow, the fibrous mass burns in your throat. You fight to hold it down, and your stomach knots tight when the plant matter hits it. You cough and hiccup. The man looks at you, curious.
What do you think?
I mean, he's gonna know anyways if he gives it to other people, so it tastes like unwashed death.
He waves a hand.
Well, yes, there are some kinks to work out, but people are starving. They can't be fussy. It won't be long before no one around here goes hungry again.
Your stomach protests. You feel like you'll be hungry again very soon indeed. There's a truck parked here. The driver mistakes your look for curiosity.
You want to see something interesting?
He asks, pointing to the trunk. He opens it. There's hundreds of metal tubes with little numbered screw-on caps sorted in wooden racks.
What is it?
We've been surveying, he said. It's my job to study soil health.
The trunk has a map taped to it, marked with numbered dots.
I can show you the one from your hometown if you see it here.
Sure, but it's not on the map.
It's an official-looking map, but the state borders and rivers are wrong. Half your county is missing. The surveyor offers you a coin for directions to your hometown, but his notes are funhouse mirror English writing.
Fascinating,
He murmurs.
we learn so much from you folks.
You folks. That sounds discriminatory. Alright, we're gonna go here, gonna get these stories, head to Cincinnati, do that up, and then I'm gonna restart the game, see if that helps the performance a little bit. I'm getting tired of the joltiness here.
Over a shared, crusty loaf of bread, the farmer notices you looking at a prominent, tattered scarecrow in the field.
Oh, you like old Barney?
He asks.
Not if its eyes are doing that, but sure.
Does a damn good job scaring the vermin. Shame about the real fella. He was a funny one. Old Barney hiding out in our stables and lofts, just passing along. We liked him. Well, all except the sheriff. Barney never harmed nothing. I sometimes shared bread with him, just like you here.
What happened to him?
When he disappeared, leaving just the clothes we gave him, I figured I'd put him to use. Never got to know his proper name neither.
Across the field, the wind in the corn whispers. Or is it the scarecrow?
It was a time of superstition.
The barn and silo have seen better days. One big storm might bring the whole structure down. A man hollers.
Ken? Ken? I know you're here, boy.
He sees you and lopes across the field toward you.
You seen a boy around? About 14?
No, I haven't.
He sighs.
My boy is missing. I haven't seen him since last night.
He swallows.
He ain't the type to run off, neither. Can you spare a minute to help look? I'm worried sick.
Okay, let's check inside the barn.
Interior of the barn is dim, even with the great doors thrown open. You check the animal stalls, but find nothing. As you look up to the loft, you spot a gap in the roof. A bit of cloth hangs down. Perhaps a shirt.
All right, let's check the roof.
You climb the ladder and make your way across the roof. A trail of empty beer bottles leads you past a discarded shirt and to the base of the silo.
Uh-oh.
You climb up. There's a hole in the silo roof, a rupture where rotten wood gave way under something large.
Uh-oh. Look inside.
You maneuver your way along the edge, keeping your weight off the rotted panels. You poke your head inside. He's there, half submerged in the grain. He's been dead for half a day at least. The man's waiting at the bottom of the barn ladder.
Anything?
There's a spark of hope in his eyes.
Tell him the truth.
He chokes back a sob.
I told him not to go up there. I told him.
He looks up at the tower, then turns to you, tears tracking down his grimy cheeks.
Why didn't he listen?
Because he was drunk. I think it's straight. Alright, another story upgrade. Devil of Leads. Improving the Winged Goat story. Okay, Cincinnati. They used to call this place the Paris of America, and it's fitting. The new Union Station makes it feel like an ant, and the music hall is a hell of a place to look at, too.
The corridors of Cincinnati's music hall reverberate with the sounds of an orchestra warming up for rehearsal.
If we unbolt the light rig, we can crush him,
says a voice up ahead. No, another answers. Hiding Baldy's baton will be sufficient to stop the din.
Approach?
The tuxedoed men are slightly transparent. Mustachio on the right has his arms folded. The weaselly one on the left scowls. They start at your arrival.
I'm gonna undo those bolts.
Weasel feature vanishes into thin air.
Damn it all,
says the other man.
Are you ghosts? I mean, that's pretty obvious. What was that about?
We used to be members of the orchestra until, well, you know. Patrick doesn't care for the new blood. It seems like talent died with us. So he does his damnedest to stop them playing. But I can't allow violence against fellow artists. Help me stop him.
How do I stop a ghost?
With the right tool, you can banish them from the hall. You see, no spirit can stand the sound of the purest of all instruments.
Violin?
No.
The piano?
No.
The banjo?
No.
The sousaphone?
He shakes his head, exasperated.
No. The triangle.
What?
The orchestra has one, but their percussionist's a sop. He never hits it right. If you can get there, you can ensure the only thing brutalized here today is Chopin.
The triangle. Go into the hall.
The orchestra is midway through practice. They're in dire need of it. The percussionist dozes on his stool. Everyone's oblivious to the muttering from the lighting rig.
Rush for the triangle.
You sprint down the aisle and elbow through the incensed musicians. The percussionist falls off his stool as you clamber over his xylophone.
What?
You grab the beater and bring it down onto the triangle, eliciting a pure, resounding note. And the rafters ring with laughter. The mustachioed ghost appears next to you, doubled over, invisible to the furious orchestra.
I never thought you'd fall for that. The triangle, for God's sake. Thanks for shutting them up, though.
Oh my god. That's too good. We don't need money. Let's try panhandling. Not a single cent all day. No one will even look at you. You're not sure whether they're embarrassed they have so little charity or embarrassed that they have nothing to be charitable with. We don't need money. Alright, so we're gonna get these 2 stories, go to that campfire, and then I'm gonna restart.
You've seen migrant camps before, and they tend to look like the town dump. This one, though, on a good day, this could pass for a town.
Alright, let's wander around.
Starched white tents stand tall and many, and a stroll through the grounds finds you neither trash nor trouble. You hear some chatter from a large tent on your left. On your right, a tent in the shadow of the trees emanates a soft buzz.
Let's go left.
A bespectacled man reads from a black binder to an audience of about 24 migrants.
At this time,
He says,
Mr. Martin vacated the chair in favor of new chairman, Mr. London. Mr. Lake was elected vice chairman. Mr. Lake was elected chairman of the finance committee.
Deep.
There's only so much recitation of council minutes that one can take, and you're over your limit. You make a prompt exit. Moments after you leave, the tent explodes in uproarious, cascading laughter.
Damn. You missed the joke.
The man lowers his paper as you
Dust
come
Bowl
near.
devastation.
His weather-beaten face is drawn. They say it's spreading. The dust is strangling the land. Half my cattle suffocated in the last storm.
We cut open the carcasses to salvage the meat. They were filled with mud.
What? That doesn't sound right. Sympathize with his plight.
He licks his cracked lips. They stay dry.
His land is dying. If the harvest fails again, people will too.
You look past him, over his dust-choked fields. You can't imagine anything growing here.
Can't you move away?
Where would we go? The family came here for a fresh start. All we have is our claim.
His voice is hoarse.
We came here when there was no more work back home. Now this. If we leave, it'll just be something else.
Your skin prickles gently, though the sky is still clear.
Duster's on its way. Big one.
He calls after you.
Come by in a week. I doubt there'll be a building left standing.
Reading story. Alright, so a man who seemed alright with death grew into a man who heard his death approach. Not wrong. Franklin, Chapter 2, The Whistle of the Evening Train. Hey, Franklin.
Welcome back. It's been a while. I miss talking with you, friend. Do you want to hear more about what the porter's life is really like? The truth, not the happy mask?
Sure.
I can tell you about what it's like and about Mr. Randolph and the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. It'll ruin the illusion, but I think that's for the best. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
Maybe. Optimistic. This one. Fisherman and his fish calling seagulls. We know that's optimistic.
Just like I told you, friend. Miles of smiles. I guess the future's in our hands. Nobody had ever seen organized black folks before the Brotherhood came along. It's on us to make sure that's how it keeps on going. See, I spend a lot of time thinking, will we be the first black union or the only one? Know any good tragic tales? I feel in the mood for one of those right now.
Sure. Children of the Corn.
So, does that one scare you? Not sure about me.
Oh, it's supposed to be scary?
I believe it. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story.
Happy. Not really. I don't know. Only the pig farmers?
I'm not sure I get it, friend.
That's supposed to be a joke?
It's hard to have faith in a person if you never really know him. And let me tell you, it's hard to really know a porter. At least to know more than what he wants you to know. You can let him completely into your life, and he'll keep you in the dark about his. Hey, do you know any spooky stories I can share with the boys tonight?
Yeah, I know lots of spooky stories. Hotel haunted by the ghosts of twin toddlers. Ooh.
Damn, that's a good one. If you got any more like that, you should write them down. Yeah, I think about bondage a lot. It's a handful
really?
of coins, really all it takes to separate a buck from a working man. They say old George Pullman only employs black boys to make his trains feel even fancier for white folks. When Mr. Randolph got us all thinking about a union, I remember someone shouting, "Fight or be slaves." You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Probably. The bull who terrorized travelers.
Didn't I hear that story on the radio? You told it better, though. Authority. You know why they stopped calling us all George? Some white folks named George got angry, formed a group, and complained about it. If we didn't even have the power to decide our own names, what did we have? We needed Mr. Randolph and the Brotherhood. Another night over. I've got to get going. My journey takes me down the rails this way, but it was good talking to you. And how'd you like that, Sharon? Our dark silhouette's a little easier to make out. Sooner or later, the whole world's got to know what we really are and what's it really like. That's the only way we're really gonna matter to anyone besides ourselves. And now that you know the bad, doesn't the good sound that much better? Sharing goes both ways, though. Is your truth a little more complicated, too?
Yeah, I'm a skeleton. Alright. Time to restart this game. Oh. Hopefully that'll fix some of the issues. Alright, what do we have? We can go up to Michigan, I guess. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. We'll head up. Talk to him, go up to Michigan, hitchhike west. Talk to him again. Not very far away, so might as well. Oh, where'd you go, Franklin? Oh, God.
Some people like to think of porters as some special kind of black folks. I suppose that's true. I know I don't always correct them.
What the shit?
But we ain't special. Not really. No matter where I go in this country, I'm a black man before anything else. That was true before I put on this uniform, and it's going to be true long after I'm buried. Anyway, you must have some funny stories to tell. Share one.
Hey. Funny. Funny. This one. Little joke. Maybe? Letter delivery woman. We know that one's funny from somebody else, so...
I'll keep this story in my pocket for sure. It'll make some passenger laugh. Choice. What's choice mean when you didn't choose to be born black in this country? I choose to make the best living I can out of a difficult situation, not chosen with my best interests in mind. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Oh yeah, several. Many. What we got? What have we not told you already? Wounded soldier is exciting. Okay, let's try that.
Not sure my brothers will find that one particularly scary.
Damn.
I think about the past a lot. Some days I think if I told my great-grandfather my life story, I'm sure he wouldn't believe his ears. But other days, I look around and things don't feel all that different after all. Change is fast and slow all at once. Hey, do you know any spooky stories I can share with the boys tonight?
Yeah, I got those. Headless Hessian of Sleepy Hollow. Headless Horseman.
Damn, that's a good one. If you got any more like that, you should write them down. When do I feel free? Well, it's always a party when the train rolls through Harlem. There's a real movement happening. So much art and thinking and expressing. Money and trains only gives a sort of body freedom. Mind freedom is something else. Tell me something that'll make me laugh. I could use a chuckle.
Hey, buddy. Something that'll make you laugh, huh? Sure. Eh. This one told a joke, didn't it? Let's try that. Alright.
Oh, that's a good one. Very good. I had a moment of joy the other day when I met a porter by the name of Oscar Michelle. Brother showed me some of those moving pictures they got now. He's been working on some of his own, too. Glad to know they ain't just for white folks. You seem like you've seen a few spooky things in your time. Want to share any?
Yeah, a guy right in front of me right now who's holding masks up to his face. Do this one. Story of the Leatherman.
I'm not sure. Travel is changing the world, friend.
Not scary? I don't get it.
When we drop off a new jazz album someplace folks ain't never heard it before, we're dropping off a bit of the new culture. We help it spread. Now, we ain't writing those damn songs, but I think that's worthy of some credit. Here's the sun. I've got to get going, friend. But this conversation has me so excited. I'd love to continue it. I'd love to tell you more about what I and men like me can be in this world. I'm headed this way next. Will you look for me if you find yourself there?
Sure, pal. Not too far away. Okay. We're gonna head to the east to this other campfire, and then we're gonna head back to this guy in China and finish him up. Spend a while in the cool shade at this gas station. You notice 3 kids sitting beside their family car while the parents argue loudly with the cashier inside. The children seem embarrassed. You see their oldest brother lean over and distract his siblings with a story. He starts telling them a story about the Leatherman who has walked a route across Connecticut for 200 years. You realize almost instantly that he's telling a new version of the tale of the Leatherman whose ghost haunts Connecticut, but with new, exciting, over-the-top details. When the parents come stomping furiously out of the gas station, you make yourself scarce, missing the ending of the boy's new story. But the part you heard is definitely easy to remember. Cool. Quinn, Chapter 2. Hey, Quinn.
Huh, look at you. Well, I didn't know if we'd meet again, but I'm glad we did. Set yourself down here with me and Cass and Flip. Need a drink of water? Need to warm up? Still trying to see much of this country as I can. Folks I meet are sometimes kind, sometimes mean, and sometimes still perplex me. But all of them beats the folks I left behind. How about you? Seen anyone interesting since we last met? Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor.
Alright, Pally. Funny story, huh? 8 identical men born to 8 different mothers who each mistook other for his brother.
That was a chuckle to be sure.
Damn straight, kid.
The past is just that. Past. The whole world is at my feet, so why bother talking about the one place I can't go to no more? I'm in the mood for something real funny like.
Funny. Again? Kid, you're killing me. I don't even know what type of story this is. Strange street lost in time. That's scary.
Ain't life got enough tearjerkers in it without
sad?
telling stories like that? Jeez.
Okay.
There you go, talking about family. Like I said, don't need nobody but my dogs. Flip's still a little green. Found him starving and angry by the roadside a few months back. He gets riled now and again, but he don't do nothing too bad if you just wait and let him get it out of his system. He's good to have around most times, and Cass sure seems to enjoy the company. I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any?
Sure, I'm sure I do. Venturing tales, huh? He wants a thrilling story. A storm. A different storm.
I don't get too much out of tales that are so cheerful.
Oh, that's a happy
Not enough
tale.
excitement for me.
Because the woman gave me food and stuff.
This country. I don't rightly know what this thing called America is. I know what I done been told in school, but the words don't fit the picture. What with tramping across the whole thing, figure I'll find out for myself soon enough. You got any happy stories?
I mean, I just told you one. That's okay. Strange woman who shared a moment with you during the eclipse. That's a happy one.
Sometimes I need a tale like that just to remind me it's not all depressed out there. Love story. Well, some of the songs say love is like being sick in your heart. Don't sound too pleasant to me. I love my dogs, but it don't feel like being sick. Being sick in your heart sounds more like getting Judased, something I know a thing or two about. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
Okay. Headless Horseman.
Wow, that's the stuff, stranger. Spooky campfire tales are my favorite. Freedom? Well, that's what them trains have come to mean to me. Freedom. Crossing a country wider than imagination. Aw, heck, the night's over already. I sure enjoyed talking to you, but I gotta get on. I think I'll see what's happening up the road.
Alright, kiddo.
Sometimes I surely do wonder what'll become of this land. Folks have been chasing the dream of tying it up for so long. Now they got their wish. Things are worse than ever. Maybe America was never meant to be held in your hand like this.
Alright, well, he headed back to Ohio, which is perfect because that's where we want to go. We got both of them over there. Headless Hessian of Sleepy Hollow, wildly altered. Cool, great story, kid. Headless Hessian changed into the ghastly legend of Ichabod Crane. Y'all know that one.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by I'll see them far and long. 'Cause when the night come down for to take me hand in hand, this will be my tale, my vagrant song.
Okay, and we're back. Midwest. Quinn, Chapter 3. Hey there, Quinn. Oh, God.
You seem an alright sort, stranger. But there are some real bums out there, and I ain't talking about folks who are down on their luck.
Quinn, you're freaking me out, boy. You got like 4 hands and 3 wolves. Nope, you got more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hands. Yipes, buddy. You gotta work on that.
Got myself run off from a nice spot I done set all up a few miles back for winter. Ain't the first time I've been run off. Let me tell you about the bunch of Judases what raised me. I was oldest, had a brother and a baby sister. The farm was small, but it weren't sad and all full of ruination in the early days. But I suppose my ma and pa couldn't make a go of it.
Is this like showing his inner self? So he's like a wolf type? Loves his dog, as you can see, he's petting him.
When things started getting depressed and tight, every damn thing started to fall to pieces. First, they stole from us, money we'd been saving or earned, things they could sell. Then they abandoned my brother, letting him die instead of calling a doctor. Then they sent me on my way, saying they couldn't provide no more, that I was too big for 'em to keep. Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
Hey, wolf kid. I think the bull one will be the right one to tell. Actually, Casey Jones. We can't use any more in this category anyways. Casey Jones. Metrical Railroader.
Well, that was a lively tale. Huh, travel. Yeah, you're right, stranger. I got my travels to look forward to. I'm up to 15 states now.
Nice, kid. I've only ever seen you go between the same 3 or 4.
Times like this, it feels kinda hollow, though. After I seen all 48 states, can I put them ghosts behind me? If I keep wandering the rails forever, do you think I could shake them? I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any?
He wants to hear a thrilling story again, huh? Oh, boy. I don't think I have another thrilling one. Except for the bull, I suppose. Theorize travels on the road. Let's try it.
Whoa, quite a story, stranger.
Thanks, Wolf Kid.
Authority. When I really think on it, I reckon my folks started out with the best intentions. Wanted to give their kids a good life, a good home, but they failed. And it wasn't them who paid the price. Isn't that just what authority means? You don't suffer for the decisions you make. Someone else does. I'm in the mood for something real funny like.
Okay. I don't know what kind of story this is. That's the problem. This one? Funny? I think it was for the porter.
That was a
Okay, it
chuckle
was
to
for
be
Queen
sure.
too. Nice.
Joy in my life. I used to be happy in that old farmhouse by the river, but it's all fuzzy now. Mostly I remember Mama and Daddy fighting over money, over the poor state of the farm. You got any stories that are a little sad?
Yeah, we got plenty of sad stories. Is Johnny Appleseed and his doggo.
Shoot, I ain't teared up. Just got something in my eyes, all. You know, though, I'm sick to death of talking about faith or getting wishes granted. Gotta trust in the Lord, Quinn, they said as my brother lay dying. My folks too damn prideful to send for a doctor they knew they couldn't pay for. Gotta trust in the Lord, they said, but he didn't provide neither. I never wished for anything more than I wished to keep my brother, but wishing never did a damn thing for nobody. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
Hey, buddy. Got lots of those. Sugarcane farmer took criminals from the jails and worked them in his fields until they died.
You spin a good yarn. I was shivering there for a little bit. Well, talking of choices, I don't rightly know what I could have done different. Run away sooner? Maybe if I did, they could have paid for the doctor. Well, night's over. Didn't understand all your stories, but I'd hear more if I see you again on my travels.
Looks like I have to meet him again. There was no way that I could have gotten him in full trusting a single night.
Look, I didn't mean to drag you down with my stories of misery and suffering or whatever, but you're a good listener. That's rare in a person, you know. But round you, I feel safe to tell the truth. Look, I'm heading up the road this way.
Going
Where
back
you
to the
going?
east, huh?
I hope our roads cross again, friend.
Okay. Oh boy. Go to the porter and then, I don't know, back to Quinn, I guess, to finish him off? Not sure what else to do. Get more stories, obviously, but This is a wild story about a house that only appears when thunder strikes. Huh. Story only appears when thunder strikes, as opposed to me finding it on the hillside. Franklin, chapter 3. Once again, let's do it. Hey, buddy.
Friend, it's good to see you again. We've both covered many miles since we last met, but your words are fresh in my mind. I've wanted to finish telling you about what it's really like being a porter, about who I am, really, about the many things I am, the many roles I play.
Okay.
Are you ready to hear, friend?
Sure.
Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good, happy story.
Ah.
You got me?
It's like, are you ready for my story? Wait, I want to hear a story from you first. Happy story. Woman.
Just
who
like I
kissed
told
the
you,
eclipse.
friend. Miles and smiles. Love. I was worried about losing it. I was afraid having to pretend to be kind all the time would stop me from feeling the real deal. But I guess I'm just a bad actor. Because none of what I perform for those passengers compares to the love I have for my brothers and my people.
I see. So he's an actor. He pretends. Mm-hmm.
You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Yeah, a few. Let's see if I haven't told you any yet. Okay. Storm generated by a gigantic bird. Yeah.
Didn't I hear that story on the radio?
No, you did not.
You told it better, though. Home is changing. Black folks used to be all down in the country, but that was no home. Now we're all moving around, mostly up north. Wonder if that's gonna be any better. Maybe moving is all that you can hope for when you don't have a place to go. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
Optimism, huh? Hopeful story. Maybe. Story of the man who made molasses. Sure, we'll give that one a shot. Kind of hopeful, I guess. Yep, it is.
Positive attitude. That's what I like to hear.
Sweet.
I had a moment of joy the other day when I met a porter by the name of Oscar Michelle.
Yeah, we know already. Fine.
Brother showed me some of those moving pictures they got now. Glad to know they ain't. Tell me something that'll make me laugh.
You laugh, huh? I don't know if I have any of those left. Yeah, I don't think I do. Let's talk about Dupree's tale, focusing on the funny parts.
Oh, that's a good one. Very good. Luck. Oh, I'm lucky. Real lucky.
Those are like wild
I feel
cards.
guilty complaining like I do. With this job, I'm a hell of a lot better off than plenty of other black folks I know. I think about that, my relative fortunes, and it takes some of the sting off. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
I don't think so. Except for this one.
Woo, that's a wild one, all right. Travel is changing the world, friend. When we drop off a new jazz album someplace folks ain't never heard it before, now we ain't writing those damn. Seeing yourself, I believe some black folks become porters to try to get above all that. But they just end up feeling small in a different type of way. I think of all I am in all the masks I wear. Franklin, black man, Pullman porter, railroad man, union man, and how none tell the whole story. So why try?
Gotta combine all those masks into one, buddy.
It's freeing to know you mean more than what other folks think. So what about you, friend? Who are you, completely?
Hey, Franklin's story is complete. Hell yeah. Cool. This kindly old man, sharing the shade under the bridge with you, tells us a few rambling stories, some true-seeming, some conspicuously less so. All true, he assures you. There's history in this place, going all the way back to Injun times. Strange stuff happens around here. Can't all be true. Here it is, he scoffs, and then, as if to prove himself right, he launches into a story about future New York, a worker's paradise, and this one, you know. It's the story of the rising workers' movement in New York, but wilder and stranger than you remember. Know that one? Do you then? The old man laughs. So I ain't pulling your leg. It's all true. Okay. We're gonna go back, talk to Quinn one final time, and finish up his story. Hey. Back in Pittsburgh, Ohio, or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, rather. This man reads the newspaper with barely contained horror, his grimace spreading wider and wider as he makes his way down the page. Suddenly, his frown cracks into something with a little more amazement in it. Hello, he says. What's the matter? He reads out a story about the sugarcane farmer who killed a cutter every night to ensure a good harvest. You're shocked. Story of the sugarcane farmer who took criminals from the jails. But with some bits changed. Do you think this really happened? Oh yeah. Even though no, it didn't. He shrugs. It sounds like nonsense to me for sure. Stuff they print these days. Originally, it was somebody who stole the axes at the sugarcane field, and has blown up way huge from that. Hey Quinn. We're gonna finish up your story, buddy. Crazy
Hey,
wolf
stranger. It's good to see you. I've been missing our talk since you and I last split.
Hey, pal.
Been thinking how my family judiced me and how they did wrong by my little brother. Worrying there was maybe something else I could have done. Here, sit with me. I want someone to talk with about all this. Though I love them dearly, my dogs ain't such good talkers.
They look a little mean, buddy.
Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
Alright, thrilling story it is. We have one. This one is kind of thrilling, but it's more of scary than thrilling. Killer pigeons. That's kind of scary too. It's hard to change between thrilling and scary, or thrilling and hopeful. Like this one is kind of thrilling too. That was kind of thrilling. I want to risk it. Okay. I think what we're gonna do, try and find one in a category that is mostly used up. Not really working out for us. Because if I use Dupree's Tale, these other two won't be there anymore. I can't use them. Tough. Okay, we have a bunch of scary stories, so let's tell the story of Althea's Blues. These ones are like wild cards, right? So.
Well, that was something. You spin a good yarn. Being trapped. I've tried my best to make sense of it all, And from what I done seen, the more you have, the more you're tied down. Responsibility to lash you to the ground so you can't move an inch. Playing a game only other folks are winning. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor.
Alright, funny story, yeah, this one.
That was a chuckle to be sure. Well, talking of choices, I don't rightly know what I could have done different. Run away sooner. Maybe if I did, they could have paid for the doctor. Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
Exciting stories, huh? None of these are really exciting. Ugh. Bridge builders. We'll try this one. I don't know if it will be or not. It has to do with like seeing people flying and stuff.
Whoa,
it is.
Quite a story, stranger.
Cool. Okay. Did not know.
Freedom. Will I ever be free, stranger? Is there even such a thing anymore? That train whistle means venture, new sights, more life. But prison comes in different shapes, don't it? I think I finally understand that now. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
Yeah, we got that. Let's try elegant woman who has a scar on her neck like she died.
Ain't life got enough tearjerkers in it
sad.
without telling stories like
Okay.
that? Jeez, puts me in a sad mood. I think the thing that eats at me most, more than my brother being left alone on his deathbed, folk do get sick and die after all, more than being betrayed myself, I reckon I done all right on my own, it's that my baby sister got left behind. Those Judases still have her. Don't know what idea turns my stomach more, that in the end they betrayed her too, or that she got a normal life, that they're all happy together and she has no idea what the cost was. I'm in the mood for something real funny like.
Okay, real funny like. Bleh. I don't think I have any of those. Saying. Yeah, I don't have any left over, kid. I don't know. Tell a story of the family of pig farmers? Some people think that's funny.
I'll remember that
Okay.
one. A couple good jokes can get you out of a fix sometimes.
Apparently it is.
You want to talk about trust? I surely did trust 'em, stranger. A mistake I don't aim to repeat. But what child ain't gonna trust their parents when times get hard and your whole world is a 5-mile stretch of muddy riverbank? My oh my, stranger, listen to me blubbering on about my woes. I reckon it's something about you what brings it out of folks. You're searching for something great, something holy, aren't ya? But you don't figure you're gonna find it. And you wonder if it can't be found at all, or if it's just you that can't find it. Really eats at you, don't it? I can see it in ya. Anyway, I best be getting on. I think I'll see what's happening up the road. Take care of yourself, stranger.
Win story complete. Alright, that's 2 stories finished. Out of 9. Hey. Uh-huh. Dead woman and a yellow ribbon. Alright. She's a dead woman with a yellow ribbon now. And then I think we all can tell where it's gonna go from here. The ribbon will be keeping your head on. Heard this one before. Okay, so we gotta head to the west. Let's hitchhike.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones over the waters of this land. And
Hitchhike.
by and by, I'll see them far and long. 'Cause when
Hey,
the
thanks, pal.
tide come down for to take me hand in hand, this will be my tale. My
Gotta go a ways. Why are there bushes on the road? Oh god, watch out, the bushes! Oh! Oh god.
my vagrant soul.
Roads are not well kept. Let me out. Let me out at the next intersection, please. Let me out. Let me out. Oh, ah! It's crashed us into that car. Crazy ass driver. Can't do anything. You're going too far. No. No. I don't want to go all the way to Illinois. How it is, I guess. I guess it's a one-way trip. All the way to Chicago. Whoa, what the? That was weird. Alright, since we're here. Chicago. Downtown bustling behind you. Lake Michigan stretching before you. Chicago is beautiful, ain't it? But there's a dark heart to this place. Dangerous men on the streets and a glint of fear in people's eyes. Go exploring.
It's the midday, and yet this whole neighborhood
Mafia.
is eerily quiet. Everyone seems to have retreated into their homes as if warned of something. You soon realize what? The reciprocating sound of a Thompson gun, emptying its drum.
Al Capone. Let's run for cover.
You get behind a car, putting the engine block between you and the sound. But it's muffled, coming from inside a building. You're in no danger, you think. So you allow yourself a peek above the black hull of the car.
Have a gander.
And running down the cobblestone street, a man in fine, blood-spattered clothes. He has his hands out, mouth open, screaming something. But you don't catch what he says. He's drowned out by gunfire, and his body slumps to the ground.
Keep watching.
The men responsible, 3 abreast in dark overcoats and wide hats, walk up to him to check on the body. The smallest of the 3 has a nervous energy about him.
People are gonna see us, boss.
People ain't gonna see nothing. Not on these streets.
I love it. People ain't gonna see nothing. The killers on the streets. Okay, so we don't need money. Don't need to buy anything. That's that.
A woman waits while a man in a truck fills 2 of her buckets with scoops of whitish powder from a bin. She sees you staring.
Wanna make some cash?
She calls.
Doing what?
She takes you up the drive to her farmhouse.
People
where
are
her
really
son
trusting.
And daughter are mixing something in a metal barrel.
Locust bait.
She says,
Poison. The town bought enough for everyone, but we gotta mix it ourselves.
she'll pay you to help.
Okay.
You use a broom handle to mix the poison with bran. The teens watch from the porch, faces frozen in distrustful scowls. Their mother pays you well, but later in the day you feel lightheaded, tingling pins and needles all over. You feel only a little better after you vomit.
Ow! Hurt. Alright, let's get healed up. Buy some food in Chicago. Deep dish pizza. Wow, one slice of the stuff is a whole damn meal. Now let's earn some money. Look for some work. It starts to rain. Oh. Umbrella guy. We've seen this one before. Seek shelter instead. He's liable to get pneumonia out there. You take shelter. Yeah, it's good that we didn't do that. That would have taken health away from us. I've seen that before. What is this?
Stacks of suitcases grind the parked Model A deeper into the dirt. An extended family inside defies the carrying capacity of the vehicle. The driver leans out the window. Want this? He swings a violin around by its neck. 10 bits. We need it for gas. You hear a muffled pounding from somewhere within the car.
I don't have that much.
6 bits then. We need it for gas. The pounding becomes frantic.
No, I don't need it.
The back door breaks open, and a girl crawls over the laps of dusty bodies.
Don't you dare! That belongs to Louise Ames!
She shouts at you.
Louise Ames!
She's dragged back into the writhing nest of limbs, and the door slams shut. On your way, the driver tells you. You go.
Okay. Louise Ames. Louise Ames is violent. Alright, let's hit up this campfire. Cassidy, Chapter 1. You and me.
I've met a lot of people like you on this road. There's something you want from it, isn't there? A desire that scratches and scrapes away at the sides of your body.
Well, I mean, I am a skeleton, so there's that.
Does being out here feed that part of you? It's that way for me. Living in a state of motion, resting nowhere, returning to no one. I've been a wandering ghost for a while now, and I'll be that way for some time to come. But that's a fate I should have known I was in for. I'm a poet, after all. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that?
Yeah, you know what? Go with us next car.
That one was like getting locked out in the cold with nothing but your sorrow. I liked it. I know sadness. These days, the melancholy just settles over me like a heavy bay fog. It makes its residence with me, and I accommodate it. I start to think, well, the world isn't made for being happy in, not for someone like me. My old friends have their happiness. Jess and Deborah, Pauline, Silas too, maybe. And good for them. It'd be wrong to begrudge someone their happiness, wouldn't it? No matter how jealous you are.
Buddy, you can be happy if you stop making room for sadness. Come on now.
Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that?
Sadness, he says. Story of the man on the beach of Miami despairing about the future. We'll try that.
The tragedy
Here we go.
in that story, it's real. Have you ever tried writing poetry? The future. Well, what do you want from this life you've been given? Do you think there's a chance you'll get it? It's good to march forward, thinking you can reach the goal you set out for yourself. Of course, we both know it doesn't always work out. Maybe it never works out. Not many people I know seem to have gotten what they want. Except for Pauline, maybe. Personally, I don't think what I wanted from this world was so unreasonable. Do you know any stories that will make me laugh? A tall order, I know.
Yeah. Letter delivery. It'll make you laugh.
Oh, I like that one. Very, very clever. Choice. That's hard. You believe you know what's right and what's wrong? A lot of people do. And I have to say, I wonder about those people. Did someone tell them and they believed it? Did they figure it out for themselves? When things got rough, would they stick to those ideals? Even the strongest of us can shrivel away in the face of the world. Regular folks like you and me can hardly do better. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that?
This one.
That one was like getting locked out in the cold with nothing but your sorrow. I liked it. The space you give to love is the same space you open yourself up for potential harm. That's an old truism, and I'd read all about that kind of thing from an early age. So, it's not like it should have been a surprise to me.
Your foot's in the fire, buddy. You might want to move it back.
Still, I wasn't prepared for how much it all going sideways hurt me as much as it did. The way I felt about Silas wasn't like anything I could remember feeling before. The whiplash from that is why I'm out here by myself now. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that...
Okay, another sad story. Good God. Story of the boy whose father left him alone in the woods.
The tragedy
sad? It is sad.
in that
Okay.
story, it's real. Have you ever tried writing poetry? I had a family. We were close. Me and Jess and Deborah, even Pauline. We had a shared goal in the world. When I think about any of them now, though, I can feel poison rising in my chest. They didn't do anything wrong. They're all still grand folks. It's just that the situation with Silas ruined my attitude towards them, too. Being jilted plays a mean trick on your capacity for love. I miss the old group. I really do. I still have that image in my head. Pauline's house, the poets, Jess, me. But on top of them all, there's Silas. In my memory, he looms. He haunts. You ever meet someone so far above everyone else? It's like they were from a different plane altogether. That was him. A divine presence among normal human beings. Silas was part of the group, but at the same time, he wasn't. He was better than any of us. Wiser, gentler, stronger. We all held him in respect. We were in awe of his power as a writer, in reverence for the beauty of his soul. I still love him. Look, I'm headed out this way. If you find yourself out there, maybe we'll meet again.
Alright, Pally. Ooh, that guy was putting me to sleep. Ugh. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff we missed over here. So let's go. Because the car drove us right past where we wanted to go. Oh, messed it up. Ah.
Just a moment there.
He says, shaking your hand.
I'm Paul Dalhart from the Republican Herald. You may have heard of it. Syndicated in 6 counties.
Never heard of it.
Well, no matter. But listen, you may have noticed a vocal few out there. I call them naysayers, who throw up their hands and fly the white flag as soon as life gets a little tough. But wouldn't you agree that it's never been a better time to live and do business in this country?
No.
Ha! Pessimism, negativity, faint-heartedness.
He claps his notebook shut.
If there is to be an end to the great American experiment, it'll be your attitude that writes it, not mine.
I mean, you were asking me if there was a better time. Yeah, this is the Great Depression, buddy. This is basically the lowest of the low.
The storm swept in just before sundown, heralded by a purple sky and electricity in the air. He sought shelter alongside a grizzled farmer. All he can do is pace, muttering to himself.
Can't just stay here.
You catch.
Gotta find her.
Who?
He looks up at you.
My daughter was out down the road.
He balls his fists.
God, fuck this.
He hauls open the door, shielding his face from the fierce dust. He runs out into the storm.
Try and help him.
The dust scours your skin, and razor winds whip at your clothing. You struggle for breath. The maelstrom has turned the world murky red. You don't see the farmer.
Let's keep going.
You press on through the storm. You see the farmer up ahead. He's on his knees. A great, dark shape made from swirling dust looms over him.
Ooh, try a warning.
You manage no more than a cough. The dust thing engulfs the man in his body. The storm whips faster. You can't breathe. You have to get back to shelter.
Run!
You make it to safety, but don't manage any sleep. The storm settles in the early hours. You find the farmer laid out in the street, his corpse a shriveled mass. He has one arm stretched out in front of him, as if to crawl.
Wow. Yeah, let's go to Detroit. Heal up. Do Detroit things. Detroit. What's that weird feeling in the air? Something between dread and frantic optimism, maybe. Everywhere you look, there's looming factories filled with churning machines and new unions, they say. Let's buy a hot dog. Piled high with onions and relish. Really dang good. Earn some money. Look for work. You hit 4 factories, but nobody's hiring today. Soon you notice you're cruising around the city with the same loose group of rejected laborers. Coughing men in baggy clothes, women with babies tied to their backs, an older fellow with only one hand. Nobody wants it. After the 5th factory, everyone makes a silent agreement to give up. You sit on the curb across from the factory doors and eat your sad little lunches together in silence. To the city, eh?
The rain is coming down so hard. It's a wonder the sidewalk hasn't started to crack. You manage to find a narrow patch under a ledge where you can stay dry.
Wait out the rain.
A squat man, bundled up in a black fur coat and matching hat, approaches. The thick rain flattens and mats his fur. He squints up at you.
You're in my spot.
He crows.
Refuse to move.
He leans in. You catch a flash of wrinkled red skin and sharp yellow teeth.
I've been here a long time. You best show me respect.
Okay, let's move.
He thanks you as you step aside back into the rain. You keep walking, hoping to find more shelter.
Let's glance back at this weird person.
Now that you see the man from a distance, you're not sure the fur is a coat. A pair of red eyes shine back at you. The rain stops a minute later. You look back up the road, but the squat man is gone.
A rat man.
The girl tilts her basket away to hide whatever is inside.
You want to see what I got? I'm not telling.
She raises her eyebrows, encouraging you to pry further. This girl is either very confident or too young to know shyness.
Okay, show interest, I guess.
Got you hooked. Too easy.
She twists her lips to one side, mimicking a more adult, thoughtful gesture.
I'll tell you what. I'll show you what's in the basket if you do something for me.
Okay.
Excellent. I want you to kill my mother.
She looks to check if you're paying attention, then points to a figure working at the other end of the field.
She's boring. She keeps making me work when I want to play.
The girl bursts into peals of laughter. She doubles over the basket, laughing so hard she's barely able to stand. When she can speak again, she says,
You should have seen your face. You really should.
She beckons you over, shows you her basket.
Okay.
3 kittens snuggle up at the bottom. They're barely old enough to open their eyes.
Ma gave them to me for being good. I've called them Badb, Matcha, and Anand, after a story Nana told me.
She preens.
I'm very clever, you know.
Yeah. A little bit insane. Alright, well, let's hitchhike back to, Oop, that's not what I want. Hitchhike. Stop. Hey, what a nice guy. Take me to the city. Alright, let's go. Go to Milwaukee. Ah! So weird. Like the map needed to load or something? Why does it do that? You don't need to load. Nothing changes.
Surrounded by fields of corn and rye, a small farm lies fallow. Its tiny stable crumbles into disrepair, and foxtails sprout from its fields.
Okay, let's enter the farmhouse, but considering what category this is in, I don't think it's going to end well.
Inside, the sunlight filtering in through 2 small windows turns to hazy gray shafts in the thick dust that blankets the interior. There's not much in the way of furniture, but on a rustic kitchen table, a handwritten note catches your eye. Never opened.
Okay, let's examine it.
It's addressed to Martha and unsigned. Her name is written in the stiff letters of a man for whom literacy is more a formality than habit.
Let's read it, I suppose.
If you find this, I'm already gone. Don't come looking for me. Rest is scratchy spirals and circles of halfway readable writing about the noises from the cellar and the hunger in the darkness. The cellar door at the edge of the abandoned kitchen calls to your attention.
Okay, let's walk down into the cellar.
The door is unlatched. The ground below is deeply stained with some dark residue you can't identify. Upon it, only ancient piles of chains and manacles, slowly turning to rust.
Ugh. Move on. Story of the Thunderbird people who fly when they fall from heights. Story of the bridge builders. A new story. Hello.
The baby buffalo lies tangled by a fence, wire biting into its flesh. Please, it says, I must reach the sanctuary before they find me. The light here has a thin quality. Colors are oddly muted. There's a taste of something old in the air.
The buffalo is talking to me. Who's chasing you?
They were hunters of my kind. I am the last born. Every year it repeats. I must run. They must chase. It is the cycle that lets my people survive. You hear hoofbeats. A ways back down the road, a cloud of dust rises. The buffalo struggles. Please, help me.
Okay.
The wire cuts into your hands, but you untangle the animal. The buffalo charges off as soon as it's free. Come on. You glance behind. A trio of riders emerges at the head of the dust cloud.
Follow the buff.
You run alongside the buffalo. Not far. It grunts. Just ahead. You see the boundary, a line of rocks that mark the border, but the hoofbeats sound close. The ground dips, and the beast stumbles and falls. I'll be on you any second.
I mean, it's a buffalo. I can't carry a buffalo. Let's distract the riders.
You stand defiant in the path of the riders. They're coming in fast, wreathed in dust, but you hold your nerve. The lead rider veers at the last moment. The other two haul on the reins, sending their horses sliding. You're thrown into the dirt. The buffalo crosses the line and turns with a defiant bellow, a primal sound that far outstrips its size. It drags its feet through the dirt, kicking up a cloud of dust. When it settles, the four are nowhere to be seen. You hear the distant clamor of a herd in motion.
Ouchie. I got smacked by a horse. Cassidy, Chapter 2.
Where are you headed now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about getting out to the coast again. I want to get to Frisco and gaze upon the Pacific Ocean like in days past.
Okay.
Contemplation of water is an ancient healing practice, you know? The vastness of the sea makes the personal wounds we suffer seem small in comparison. That's a theory, anyway. Silas told me that once. Alone, out here, I spend too much time inside my own head. Can you tell me a hopeful story to lighten my mood?
Sure, pal. Hopeful story, huh? Happy one. Sad one. It's a scary one. This one is kind of... No, this one is hopeful. Fish calling seagulls.
I like that one. Makes me feel the way Silas used to in the old days.
Dude, you gotta get over your fixation with Silas. I gotta tell you, buddy.
What's in my future? Well, even the most alert people still fall into pits. So you're not alone if you're casting around, wondering how to pull yourself out from the muck and the slop. In my case, Even when I did get up, my mud-covered eyes prevented me from seeing clearly. So I tumbled into the next ditch. I suppose I'll just keep doing that forever. I need an optimistic story right now. Something to put a smile on my face. Can you think of any like that?
Story of the Blessed Lighthouse Sanctuary where souls in love could find respite. A respite.
That's a good one. We do reach up like that, towards hope.
You gotta. If you're not hopeful, what else you got in life?
Looking back at the past, well, it's just like reading a long list of times I was a fool. Here's an example. Pauline used to write too. Silas and I agreed she wasn't particularly talented. She tried too hard to sound like the writers we adored back then.
Like you and Silas were kind of a jerk.
The attempts were so stodgy sounding I called them the Pauline epistles, which made Silas laugh and laugh. Back then I thought I was so high up, so secure, but in the end he still chose her over me. Alone, out here, I spend too much time inside my own head. Can you tell me a hopeful story to lighten my mood?
Damn, man. Please. It's a happy story, not hopeful. This one, I think. Let's see if we can find a different hopeful category. Workers' Paradise in New York City.
That's a good one. We do reach up like that, towards hope. A free mind ponders all subjects without fear. A free soul expresses its spirit without restraint. Silas had that kind of freedom once, or I thought he did. Something changed in him, though, and he began to shrink away from that. He became introspective and morose. What happened? In darker moments, I wonder if Pauline turned him against me.
Oh, come on.
No, that's just my imagination. I need an optimistic story right now. Something to put a smile on my face. Can you think of any like that?
Oh, another one. This one? Right.
I like that one.
It is.
Makes me feel the way Silas used to in the old days. Trust. Well, people confuse states of mind with times gone by. You can talk of rebuilding trust, but it's never quite the same once broken. Certainly, I'll never go back to those old, idyllic days. I used to have this belief in our immortality through our art, our words, our deeds. I thought there was power in that. Silly of me, certainly. Go ahead and tell me. I'm ridiculous.
You're kind of ridiculous, buddy.
Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates.
Alright, sadness. We certainly have that. Yeah, I mean, people think that this... So, let's give that a shot. Street Lost in Time.
That one was like getting locked out in the cold. They were my family. It wasn't just that we were close. There was something stronger that bound us to each other. It was a sense of belonging to each other. We were going to share our lives, and we knew it was meant to be that way. Silas said once that we were bodhisattvas, born into this world to help people. It was a nice thing to say, but
it sounds
I
like
had
a pretentious...
my suspicions then.
Sounds like
now I don't believe it at all.
Pretentious prick.
I suppose after a while I'll start to realize how little I can change and accept myself as an uprooted poet howling unheard into the winds, seething with anger and pain, exiled to a little island of suffering surrounded by storm clouds. Really just a sad little bum that nobody cared about. That sounds about right. I've gone on long enough. Next I'm traveling out this way. Keep an eye out for me if you find yourself over there.
Alright, dude. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for Where the Water Tastes Like Wine today. I am going to take a break, And then later this afternoon, I will commence streaming once again. So I will see you all next time. Thank you for watching.